Hey folks, welcome back to the channel. Another episode of Broke Millennial Reacts. I'm the Broke Millennial, reacting here today how Austin Ekeler spent his first $1 million in the NFL. I love the GQ Sports episodes. You already know it. Playing with rich money here. Austin Ekeler, fantasy savior last season, not gonna lie, after the whole running back debacle with the Chargers. Man saved a lot of people's fantasy seasons. Maybe you're able to make some money off of him. He's getting paid in the league. Let's see how he spent his money. As always, if you like the series, leave a like, get subscribed. Let's go.
Some of the guys, man, they have like $300,000 chain. I'm like, that is crazy to me. Like, it's just all perspective, right? It's like, I would rather have a car or a home. Hey, what's up, everybody? I'm Austin Ekeler, and this is how I spent and saved my first $1 million. So I grew up in Colorado in a small town called Eaton, Colorado. 6,000 people strong, a little farm town, a lot of support from the community, and I had a really tight group of guys that I grew up with basically from preschool to I graduated high school. So going through high school, you kind of have your eyes set on, okay, what's after this? And it was college for me. I didn't know if I wanted to play a sport in college. I thought I wanted to go into law enforcement. There's too many crazy people for me to handle, so props to those people that can do that.
This man didn't even know he wanted to play football coming out of high school. What an absolute beast. He's like, I'm just going to do it. And here he is now, rolling in his stacks and piles of money.
The day I graduated high school, I had my car packed. I was gonna be a raft guide. The school I went to is up in the mountains. It's like 7,800 feet. And one of my friends from high school, he's like, look man, like I'm gonna go be a raft guide for this summer. And I was like, you know, I'm into outdoors, stuff like that. So my first ever job was rafting on the Gunnison River up in the Rocky Mountains.
Episodes in now with these big money athlete episodes, and I think last time Tyler Hero didn't have a job until the NBA. He's just played basketball all his life. Ekeler, man, had an actual job, rafting instructor. Props to him. That's not an easy job. I mean, like, I'm going out there whitewater rafting. Sometimes you're like, wow. You know, I've been whitewater rafting, and it is not a joke. It's scary. And probably not as bad as being a cop, but it's not the easiest job, to say the least.
Mountains. I think it was like $35 a trip, and you'd have 2 trips a day, and then you'd make most of your money on tips. If you're gonna be getting a good tip, you know, you gotta make everything entertaining. Well, you might have an older crowd, you might have a crowd with kids. I mean, it was okay, but nothing like playing the NFL. There's absolutely zero negotiation with undrafted.
All right. I forgot about this. He's actually undrafted coming out of college. So his first paycheck, his first contract wasn't even big money. A $5,000 signing bonus. I can assure you there are college kids out there today coming out of school getting more than that. So small money to begin with, but let's see how he spent it.
After with my first contract, it was, hey, you're on the minimum for the next 3 years. Here's a little signing bonus of like $5,000. To me, I was like, yeah, that's awesome. Like, cause they could have gave me nothing for a signing bonus. And the league minimum's nothing to, you know, be sad about. Like, I'm definitely pumped because I think it's like, now it's climbed up to like 500,000, even above that. And then there's always the bonus in the spring that you're really trying to play towards too. So when I first got into the league and finally started, you know, receiving some paychecks, it feels like it takes forever to get to that point. You're always like when do we get paid? But you know, you have to play 2 games. You have to wait for that to be, you know, processed. When I grew up, my mom's ex-husband, you know, he made a substantial amount of money and then kind of just blew it all and got really underneath as far as debt. I've seen that happen, and I was like, I cannot let that happen to me, especially with this magnitude of money coming in. And, you know, I sat down with my, you know, financial advisor, and they're like, basically, I've won the game as long as you play it right. Coming into my 3rd year, Melvin Gordon decided that he wanted to sit out, and it was like, well, he's not here, so Austin, you're up. They either had a choice to tender me, which is basically like a 4th-year option for undrafted guys, or they could sign me to an extension, or they can like let me go. We went back and forth and finally came down to like 26 million after incentives on 4 years. Yeah, that's when some spending started happening.
What's up with all these smart rookies We have the typical stereotype, oh yeah, they got millions of dollars, they're just going to blow it all. But every single one of these episodes, first thing they've done, sat down with a financial advisor, thought about savings. So I guess the league or schools are doing something right, that they're not just going out there and buying 10 cars with their first paycheck, leaving nothing left for the rest, or spending it on their family. That's definitely good to see. There we go. The first scene, million over three, a bunch of nothing. This is the big money stuff. But we're still going to see how he spent it. $6 million signing bonus. Let's go.
All right, so I talked about how I saved my money. Now let's talk about how I spend my money. The first thing I bought on my first contract was a Chrysler, and it was about 30 grand.
Okay, first car. Pause the video, comment down below. How many cars do you think he's going to get? Over, under, 2. Started out with the Chrysler 300, only 30 grand. That's not bad at all. I'm thinking, usually either Mercedes, got the Range Rover, but he's starting out modest and humble, which is why I'm taking the under on this.
I bought it used just because I wanted to save money. That was like my first check that I ever got, and I knew a majority of it was going to go towards the Chrysler. Well, a majority of it I feel like went towards taxes. Used Chrysler, 30 grand. For those of you guys that don't know me, I'm a big gamer and streamer on Twitch, so I needed to upgrade my setup because it was a little outdated and just underwhelming. My second real purchase was updating all of that, and that was about 10 grand. It's top of the line, everything is super crisp. I have 2 monitors, I have my PC, my desk, my chair, my halo lights, and just the decorations of the room upstairs. It's like my own little man cave, basically all decked out. My game of choice in the past has been League of Legends. It's like a more...
This is a man of the people! Streamer, gamer, plays League of Legends. Austin, if you're out there, let's get a game together. Got a bowling gaming setup I see he does. That's cool. A lot of these, some people will spend 10 grand on jewelry. Some people will spend 10 grand on food. Some people will spend 10 grand on clothes. Man of the people, the internet loves you. 10 grand on a gaming setup. Gotta love it.
More in-depth game. You actually have to do research on this game to actually keep up with the times. It's intriguing to me and it's very competitive, so I love it. Gaming setup, 10K. So that was on my first contract, and then I signed my extension. The first thing I bought after I signed my extension, my mother needed a vehicle very bad. She had a van that she was driving since I was in high school. It went through all my friends and all my little brother's friends, and it was just absolutely trashed and had 350,000 miles on it and made weird noises. And I was like, Mom, you know what? It's time to get you an upgrade. It was a 2019 Ford, I think F-150, and that was...
Car number 2, what's funny enough is this truck was more expensive than the car he bought himself. That's some dedication, giving back right there.
40 grand. So Mom, I love you. And there you go. But my mom's still in Colorado, and if you guys don't know, Colorado gets all 4 seasons, so you're gonna get a lot of snow during the winter, and you really need 4-wheel drive. I kind of surprised her for Christmas. I wanted to have her get what she wanted, but she couldn't make a decision, so ended up just all right, Mom, I'm getting you a truck, and you're gonna love it, and she absolutely does. Truck for my mother, 40K. All right, so I had bought my mom a vehicle, and I was like, you know what, I think it's time for me to upgrade a little bit. So I ended up buying a 2020 C8 Corvette, which is gonna be about 85. Needed, to upgrade the wheels for the weekend joyride.
Okay, here comes the money. We're on the big money contract. Got the Corvette now, vehicle number 3.
But really excited. I've wanted a Corvette for a long time, and yeah, there's that. So the new Corvettes, it was all customizable. Basically every feature on the car besides the engine was customizable, and I've loved Corvettes since I can even remember. I was talking to my mom, I was like, should I do it? It's a big purchase, and I was like, you know what, I only live one time, so I'm gonna go for it. I'm gonna go for it. So I see all my other teammates are like, dang, look at all these cars in the parking lot, and I'm driving my Chrysler, which I love.
Hey, the full YOLO mentality. I'm gonna say this: if you're just starting out, got no money, broke money, live frugally, live cheaply. When you make it to the big time, don't forget to spend all that hard-earned money. I think that's one thing that people get caught up on is we're saving all the time. We're saving for 20, 30, 40 years. But at the end of it, what's the point of saving money? Right? Eventually, you have to spend it all unless you want to give it away, hand it down. That's your choice. But don't forget to treat yourself if you can and spend some of that hard-earned money on yourself. At the end of the day, that's what we're all trying to do.
Head and purchase the C8 that's on its way, and I cannot wait. Another thing that I've been upgrading besides my car is my wardrobe. It hasn't been immediate like the cars, but it's been over time. I feel like I've had the same clothes since like high school and college. Some of the guys, man, they have like $300,000 chain. I'm like, that is crazy to me. Like, okay, Austin, you got to get some new fashion here for game day cams. You know, but that's been about $5K over the past 3 years that I've spent on just upgrading the wardrobe. Upgrading the wardrobe, $5K.
Wardrobe upgrade. We know this man's frugal because you easily, a suit, nice shoes, could easily go over $5,000. So man's living frugally, but where is that big money coming from? We still got almost $800,000 to go.
After I signed my second contract, I kind of had some stability where I was like, you know what, I feel like I'm going to be out here with this team for a few years, so I thought it was time to upgrade my living situation. I had been renting for the previous 3 years, so I ended up buying, my lovely home here. That was a down payment of about $240,000. So bring this up here. I'm about to count it out. There you go. That's what will get you a house like this. It's crazy. California real estate. Whew. My California home, $240,000 on the down payment.
$240,000 for a house. What is that? 20%, about a little over $1 million for a house in California. Not actually that bad considering he just got paid. I personally probably would have splurged on a nice house, but California, right, is expensive. Maybe we'll get a house tour or something.
So after my second year, going into the off season, one of my college football crewmates and roommates went over to Australia and ended up managing his own gym. After my second year, I went and visited him, and it was about $15,000 to cover that trip. It was my first time leaving the country. Had a great time.
Once again, I think this is one of my favorite episodes so far. $15,000 on travel. Underappreciated. I'm surprised more people aren't traveling. Like, when you make a ton of money, that's one of the first things I'm gonna do, right? Go wherever you want, first class, fancy restaurants, private tours, all that stuff. No traveling on a budget. Of course, if you have to, you gotta, but hey, maybe I'll make my first $1 million wish list and we'll see what goes on there.
My last big purchase has been my real estate investments. Basically, since the first year of being in the NFL, I kind of had my eyes set on real estate just because I wanted to create a passive income stream. So I basically wanted to move all the money that I made from the NFL into...
Who is this man? Passive income, real estate investing, gaming, no fancy clothes, a man of the people, I'm telling you guys. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if this man is on Reddit all day watching YouTube videos, personal finance. That's what we're all about. And he actually has the money to get it done. So let's see what he's invested in. Obviously, with that much money, he has a little bit more flexibility. He's not going to have to go out, try to buy foreclosed homes, fix them up himself. Let's see how the big money does it.
Investments, the one I look forward to the most is definitely real estate. So that's where I have a lot of investments right now. Currently, I have 17 units, all in Colorado. My mother's a real estate agent there, so I have a lot of connections through her. And that's helped me.
Okay, his mom's a real estate agent. That probably makes it a lot easier. She can probably help him. He's not just going in blind. 17 units. He's starting up a business, making sure he's set after he leaves the league.
Me out a ton, especially in the real estate industry. It's all about who you know to try to find, deals that aren't listed. So I have, I think, 5 or 6 buildings. This is basically just representing the rest of the down payments on those. My real estate investments, $800K. It's probably more, but that's all I have right now. So that's for the next video, how I spent my second million. I've also made a donation to my own foundation, which is the Austin Ekeler Foundation. And it's a foundation that actually started right before COVID. And what we're looking to do through my foundation is just create opportunities in places that may not have the most funding or resources. I'm working with Santa Barbara High School. So we're coming in and just with my expertise and my background and my level working out, just helping them and getting that set up for their students that will be able to come through that gym and use that hopefully for the next 20 years. I'm balanced as far as not really spending a lot on me, but still allowing myself to, have the freedom to, splurge a little bit here and there. But in the most part, I just want to make sure that.
Wait, hold up. His house, I just noticed this. Is that a smart fridge? Man's going all out. He just mentioned a down payment on his house. I want to see what's in there. It got a smart fridge. What else does he got? Like a smart pool? It's like a freaking iPad on his fridge.
My investment side is strong and able to, withstand myself throughout my entire life after football. And that's really the main goal as far as what I'm making from the NFL, transferring to my investments, living off of that, and then hopefully, have some generational wealth that, if I have kids, they can live off of that as well. If I were to give a rookie coming into the league right now some advice as far as how to spend their money, I would definitely say come up with a plan before you make any substantial decisions as far as chains, as far as cars, houses, things like that. Make sure you just have a plan and talk to a professional just so you don't overdo it. You get excited, you see your bank account, you're like, well, I actually made that much money. If you have a plan, then you can maybe afford to treat yourself. The NFL doesn't last forever. The average career is 3 years. I would say be careful, and for the first year, definitely become a friend with a financial advisor. Well, that was it, guys. Thanks for watching. That was how I spent my first million.
Man, smart man, through and through, from start to finish, dropping the facts. Exactly what we like to see, being financially responsible. Talking about that generational income, some gaming in there, passive income. He's got it all. Austin Ekeler, the man. Pretty likable guy, both, here on the internet and also on my fantasy team, where we really put in the value, putting in work for the everyday average Joe. But this episode definitely a little bit of a change from the previous ones where people just went all out, right? With the apartments, with the cars, the jewelry, the clothes, the food, the personal chefs. Man's one of us. He's living it simple. Smart fridge, though. $800,000 in investing, passive income. Good for him. I'd actually want to see a second episode, follow up on him. Maybe GQ Sports, we can get that done. But hey, thanks for watching. That's all I have for you guys today on this episode. Broke Millennial Reacts. Be sure to hit that like button. Get subscribed. Peace.